So I want to show you guys how to build a progress bar using Python in this video, and we're going to build like three different kinds of a progress bar in this particular video. So the two of them is actually I'm going to show you how to build that, and then it runs on the terminal of the application, all right, of our computer rather. And then the last one that we built it in such a way that it has a UI, and this one is actually awesome if you have an application that is actually installable. If you once you hit on the setup and then the installation is actually going on, you want to show them the progress, how much fast or how slow or how far the installation have actually gone in your computer. All right, so this is just awesome for that. That's going to be the last thing that we're going to build in the video, but we're going to stand up little and we're going to use something like we're going to use a library that is actually called a tqdm to actually do that, in combination with something like time to be able to do that. And time is just a library that it kind of comes with that of the Python installation. All right, so we're going to just do that right now. So let's see how that is actually built, guys, in the computer right here. So to create this progress bar, at first we're going to need a library that is actually called a tqdm, and I want to first of all install it right here. So to do that, I want to find my way to install it within the directory, and to do that we can use pip to do it. So we can just do pip install, and I'm going to just do tqdm like that, and then hit enter, and that's just basically going to go ahead and install that for us. So now we have access to tqdm within our folder right here, or our work environment. So I want to create a file in here, and basically I'm going to just I'm going to just call this progress bar one, and open that up. And what I want to do right here is to go ahead and then I'm going to first of all import the tqdm that we just kind of installed. So I'm going to just do from tqdm, and what I basically I want to go ahead and just also do import tqdm like that. And with this, we've imported our tqdm. All right, and the next thing we basically want to import is going to be our time. So we do have a time module within our Python installation, so we can just do import time, and that is just basically going to import time for us. That is it. So the next thing I want to do, I want to use for loop for this. So I'm going to just for I in tqdm, and what do I basically want to do? I'm going to just do range right here, and I would like to use like range of a 100, just trying to make sure that it's a kind of a 100% movement right there. So this is going to be 100 like that, and now I'm going to just introduce a comma right here, and then I'm going to just add a description. So what type of a text do you want to like display to the people as they watch the progress of the installation or whatever? So I want to say something like processing. All right, so if I do processing like this, and if you want to add maybe something of this nature, you can actually do that. That's completely fine. So we can go ahead and then introduce this in here, and then down here I'm going to just use the time method. So this is going to be time, and it's going to be I think it's going to be dot sleep right here. We're going to use sleep method, and then within this sleep method right here, we want to like tell it the how much of the progress, and we're going to just like specify that in milliseconds. All right, so if we do something like 0.05, it's going to be a little bit faster. In fact, we're going to test that right now. So I want to save the changes we do have in here, and then if I hit on where it says run right here, so let's hit on this, and you see that it's actually moving right here, and it's moving a lot faster. So if you want it to reduce, maybe you can do something like 0.5, save the changes, or 0.3, whatever you want to do. All right, so and then you see that the progress it kind of reduce a little bit down here. So it's going to get to 100 before it can actually elapse. So that's just basically how to do that. So with time right here that we have imported, it helps us to display this progress that you are basically seeing right here. I mean, talking about how much time has been elapsed right here. So that what that time is actually doing for us right there. All right, so that is it. What I want to do right now is I want to create another file in here, build another type of progress bar. So if I get in here, I want to create a new file. So I'm going to just basically call this progress bar 2. So this is going to be bar 2, and then open that up. All right, so what I'm going to do, let me close out this first one. I think we're really done with that, and we can even close the terminal right here. And right here, what I want to do, I want to do import right here. First of all, import time. And if you import time, we can also, I want to make use of a system right here. All right, so I want to import another time, another library right here, or module, which is actually called a sys like this, and that is just that. So let me use a function right here. I'm going to just do dev, and I'm going to just call this something like progress, since we're working on progress right here. maybe should just basically call it progress bar. So we have that right here. So within this place, I want to pass in a few parameters right here. So the first one is actually going to be progress, and we also want to get onto the total, and if we have that right there, and the next one is actually going to be the length. So this is going to be the length of the stuff that we want. I want to basically set that to something like 50, like that, and that is just that. So we throw in our colon in here, and then down here I want to create a variable that I'm going to just basically call percentage or percent, just basically what you want to call that. So let me just call this percent to make this a little bit shorter, and we can actually go ahead and just say 100 multiply by, and we want to multiply that by the progress, right? So for that reason, if we throw in our quotation right here, we're going to just do progress that, and we can actually go ahead and then divide that by the floating, which is just basically the total, right? So all of the things that I'm just kind of getting right here, I'm just grabbing that from this as parameter right here. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and just do, this is going to be total, and remember that this total is actually going to be in float. So for that reason, let's wrap float around this. This is going to be float, and I'm going to close that right here, and that's just basically going to do it for us on that line. The next thing I want to grab onto is going to be the bar. All right, so the type of bar that I want to basically use. So to do that, I want it to like be showing something like an equality sign as it progresses. So let's throw in that in here. So if we do quotation, and you can just do equal to right here, and as the stuff kind of a progresses, is going to be showing that particular sign in there. So that is it on that particular line. So I'm going to just do multiply by, and this is going to be an integer, and what I basically want to put on in the integer is going to be the length. So this is going to be length right here, and after we grab onto the left, we want to make sure that we kind of multiply that by the progress bar. So this is going to be progress, and we're going to just do, so this is just like, this is basically a floor division right here. All right, that's a floor division, and I want to a kind of a divider with the total right here, and we're going to just go ahead and then just say, simply say, so we should just basically kind of add that to the next value right here, which I'm going to just basically put an underscore in here, and then we'll do multiply by this. This is going to be the length. I'm going to just do the length right here. So let's make sure type that currently. This is going to be length in here, and we're going to kind of take that away from that of the I'm talking about the length and then the progress, even the floor division. All right, so to do that is really very simple. I'm going to just put that, it's going to be in an integer format, and we want to just do length right here, and this is going to be multiplied by, and we're going to just do, this is going to be progress, and we do our floor division right here. It's just going to be like this. All right, so let's make sure to type that correctly. This is going to be total right here, and we'll have that in there. And the next thing I want to do right here, I'm going to get onto the last line, and I'm going to just do system dot, which is going to be std out right here, and we're going to just do dot write to write that to the console, and we're going to just format the progress bar right here. So to format that, I'm going to just do F literal right here, and then within that, let's throw in our backslash in here, and we're going to just, which is an arrow right there, and we can go ahead and just do a pipe icon within this place, and let's just look for a way to like dynamically grab onto whatever the progress bar has. All right, so for that, if we do this and then do bar in there, it's going to like dynamically bring the progress bar for us. So after that, we need to also dynamically grab onto the percentage. All right, so to that, I'm going to just do percentage right here, or percent. I think we'll have a variable called a percent, and I'm going to just go ahead and just do, this is going to be dot two F right here, and we can go ahead and then throw in percentage right here just to designate that it's actually in percentage. All right, and do know that this just needs to be, I want to cut this away from here, so this quotation just basically needs to be on the outside right here. All right, so let's put that on this particular place, because it just kind of it's called a string literal right there. So we have that. So the next thing is to do system, and I'm going to do dot std out like that, and we can do dot flush right here. So this is going to be flush. All right, so that's just basically what we'll have on that line. So the next thing I want to do right here is, if I get onto a new line in here, I want to show an example right here. So let's first of all put an example, and what I want to show right here, I'm going to use a for loop to do that. So this is going to be for I in the range, and the range is going to be 100. I'm going to just do 101 right here. So let's do 101 within this particular place, and we can go ahead and throw in our colons in there. And then I'm going to make sure that I use time method on that. So this is going to be time, and this is going to be sleep right here. And then within this particular sleep now, we want to go ahead and just describe the progress, and maybe we want it to like kind of move at a speed of 0.5, which just basically being set as a 5 milliseconds right here. So have that in there. So the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and then check the progress bar right here. All right, so we're going to just do progress underscore bar, which is a variable that we got up there, and if we have that within that particular place, we can go ahead and pass in this I, which is just basically for our iteration right here, and then we can go ahead and just, this is going to be get to a 100 before it's a kind of a complete, right? So finally down here we can go ahead and then print. If we want like maybe say we're done at as it gets to 100, we can just put that down here. All right, so we'll just do that, and we'll just put a backslash in here and just basically just say done. All right, and what that means is that it's going to just print that on a new line, basically say done to us. So I want to save the changes right here, and we can run this code in here. So if I hit in here, I think we do have an error on this particular line right here. So we need to find out why that is actually that. So namespace error right here, we'll have length is not defined. Did you mean? Okay, we need to find out. So maybe there's a place where we misspelled length right here, and I think I can actually see that right here. So let's make sure correct this, save the changes, and then we'll run that again. And we still have another error. I think there's still another place where we misspelled length. So we need to find out and correct all of these things before we kind of run that again, guys. So I think we typed that a couple times wrongly, and I think that should be all for now. Let's save the changes and hit on run, and you see that that's just basically working just fine right here. Look at it. See how the progress bar works. And once it is actually done, we actually need to see something like done. Okay, we do have that right here. Right, so that is just that. So we do have a little bit of error right here, so invalid escape sequence right here. So I think it's just basically referring to this particular place right here. All right, so I think we need to basically need to have an end right here, just designating a new line. That's just basically why that error is showing up. So if we hit in here, and then you see that we do not actually have that particular error again, and then the progress bar is just working just fine. So once it's done, it prints this on a new line. So that is it on this line, on this type of progress bar. So the next one I want us to work on right here is going to have a UI. All right, so I want to close this because we're actually done with that. So if I right click on here, new, and I'm going to just do, this is going to be progress bar 3. This is the third example that we basically want to work on right here. So if we want to experiment with the third one, it's really very simple. Let's close out this terminal first of all. All right, so because this one is actually going to have a UI, it simply means that we need to like import our tqdm. So to do that, I'm going to just import our tqdm within this place. So this is going to be tqdm, and I'm going to just basically use aliases right here. So I'm going to just do tk, and we have that in there. And I want to import something else from that of the tqdm, which is basically going to be that of the tqdm. All right, so for that, I'm going to do from tqdm, and I'm going to just do import, and I'll just basically want to import ttk right there. All right, so I'm just like making use of ttk right here because I want that to look a little bit modern. So this is just a sub a module within that of the tqdm. All right, that you can actually use if you want to have a theme there outlook. All right, so you import this particular module. All right, so the next thing I want to do in here is I want to use a function in here. So if I do def and I want to name my function, so this is going to be run underscore progress, and within this place right here, so let's first of all throw in our what is it called, our colons right here, and I want to use a for loop in here. So for for I, first of all, in this particular thing right here called I'm going to just do range in here. So this is going to be a range, and the range is actually going to, I'm going to just do 101 right here, and down here what I want to do, I'm going to just say progress, and within this particular progress, I think what I basically need here is going to be square brackets in here. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and just do, if I throw in value right here, and the first value that I would like to use is actually found in the iteration that I basically kind of have up there. So have this way. So if we do root right here, I'm not going to just do dot update underscore I. This is going to be idle tasks. All right, so I'm going to make use of this particular method in here. And then the next one is to make use of your time, right? So time comes with Python's installation. So we're going to just do sleep, and you already know what that is going to do for us. This sleep is just the progress, how fast is that going to be moving. So if we do 0.05 right there, so that's just milliseconds. And the next one I want to do right here is I basically want to go ahead and import time itself. So if I do import, and this is going to be time. So with that line of imported time, and I want to like make sure that I kind of so to write this to our ticket that we can first of all, I'm going to just do root in here, which is a variable, and we can go ahead and set that to be equal to, this is going to be tk, and I'm going to just do .tk like this, and which I'm quite sure you're already familiar with this because we've done this a lot of time before now. So down here, we're going to just do root, and I'm going to just do the title right here, which is just basically going to help us create the title. All right, so within this brackets in here, we can just go ahead and then give this a kind of any title we want. So let's call this progress by example. So this is going to be progress by example, which is basically going to be the title of the app I want to create. So after that, I'm going to create a variable that I'm going to just basically call progress and set that to be equal to, this is going to be ttk right here, and it's going to be dot. We'll just do progress bar, and within here I want to put that on the root. So this is going to be root right here, and after that we want to set the orientation. So to do that, we'll do orient, and we'll go ahead and then set the orientation to horizontal. So within here we're going to just do, let's do horizontal right here. Let's type that correctly. It's going to be horizontal, and we want to give that a length. So this is going to be length like that, and then it's going to just basically be 300 pixels. And after that, we want to set the mode. So let's say that the mode is actually going to be set to the terminate. All right, so let's do that right here. So this is going to be the terminate, and that's just that on that. So the next line down here is going to be, we're going to just do progress, have that right there. We'll pick the progress, and then want to pack it. So do pack dot pack right there, and this is going to be padding. So we'll set the padding. This is going to be set to 10 pixels right there by the y-axis. All right, so we have that on that. Let's just basically make this something like 20 pixels, guys. So have that on that particular line. So the next thing we want to do is to create a button, and the button that we're going to create, I'm going to just do button right here, and we can go ahead and set that to tk like that, and then we're going to just do dot button. And of course we're going to go ahead put that to the root of the application. So this is going to be a comma in here, and the next thing we want to do is the text that we want to see. What do we basically want to call that? So let's go ahead and set that to, maybe we're going to just say something like install as the text. So whatever you want to call that, if you want to call that start, I think the one at Dimbo that used there's something like start right there, you can go ahead and do that. So we're going to run a command in here so that once someone clicks on it, it's going to go ahead and run the function that we have up there. So, and the function name is actually called is actually called the run underscore progress, right? So we have that within this particular place in there, and I think we basically do not actually need to pass in this stuff right here. All right, so that's just what we have in there. So the next one is if we do button right here, and we're going to just go ahead and try to pack that to the application. So we'll do pack in here, and we're going to just set the padding. So this is going to be pad 1. Let's make sure I type that correctly, and we'll go ahead and then set that to be equal to, and this one is actually going to be 10 pixels, guys. So that is it on that particular line. So after everything in here, we need to run the application. If you want to run that, you can put that, you can do root dot and just do something like main loop and throw in your quotations, your parentheses. Let's save the changes right here. And then if we hit on run in here, you see that we do have this little UI open up for us, and then if we hit on install, you're going to see that the progress bar is going to begin. Let's hit on that. Okay, we do have an error, all right? So, and the error is actually coming on this line 5 from progress, and okay, we needed to have typed range, not range. So I think we made a mistake in there. So if we get back in here, change this to range. Let's make sure I type that correctly. Sorry about that. This is going to be range like that. And another mistake that I can actually see here is where we do have a tax D right here. This should be taxed, all right? supposed to be tasks right here. So let's save the changes. And I think I do not actually have any other error in here for now. In fact, let's go ahead and test that. So if I hit on, I want to close the first one that I just created. Let's close this out and let's hit on run. It brings this up on the screen for us. Then if we hit on install, you see that the progress bar begins, all right? So the installation is going on. Once it is actually done, it stops. So that's just basically what that is. You can just transform this to whatever you want that to be. If you want it to like monitor a live installation, you can just also convert that you can also convert this to do that just fine without having any issues. All right, so that's just how that is, guys, and I hope that you guys kind of like the video. And if you do love that, just feel free to say thank you in the comment section and then give the video a like. And I think I will just basically see you guys next one, and bye bye for now.